5 minutes ago, something happened behind the iron gates of Windsor that was never meant to be seen. A blacked-out convoy, an unannounced arrival, and a royal figure stepping into the shadows of a past he once escaped. No press, no statement, no warning. But insiders are now confirming what could change everything. Prince Harry is back, and he didn't come alone in spirit. Before we go deeper into what this really means for the royal family, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. The silence surrounding his arrival was not just unusual, it was deafening. Windsor Castle, a place steeped in centuries of tradition and carefully choreographed appearances, became the stage for a return cloaked in secrecy. No royal rota, no photographers waiting at the gates. Just the quiet hum of engines fading into the night and a palpable tension that seemed to ripple through the ancient stone walls. Witnesses described a scene marked by urgency, security tightened within moments, hushed conversations echoing through corridors that have long borne witness to triumphs and betrayals alike. Palace staff, trained to remain composed under pressure, reportedly moved with a rare intensity, their expressions betraying the gravity of the moment. The absence of any official communication from the palace only deepened the mystery. In an institution where even the smallest gestures are meticulously documented, this silence felt deliberate, almost strategic. It raised a question that refused to fade. Why now? And why in such secrecy? Sources suggest that internal communications may have been set in motion hours, perhaps even days before the convoy crossed Windsor's gates, hinting at a carefully orchestrated plan rather than a spontaneous visit. For Prince Harry, stepping back onto royal ground was more than a physical return. It was an emotional collision with a past defined by duty, conflict, and deeply personal wounds. The weight of history pressed heavily on this moment, as if every step he took within those walls echoed with unresolved tension and unspoken truths. This was not the triumphant homecoming of a prodigal son, nor a ceremonial appearance to soothe public curiosity. It was something far more complex, an encounter charged with unresolved emotion, quiet confrontation, and the possibility of revelations that could reshape long-standing narratives. The atmosphere within Windsor reportedly shifted, becoming thick with anticipation and unease, as if the very air sensed that a turning point had arrived. Insiders hint at conversations long overdue, at decisions that could ripple far beyond palace walls, and at a royal family once again forced to confront fractures that never truly healed. Every detail, from the timing of the arrival to the calculated absence of public acknowledgement, suggests a move executed with precision and purpose. And as the echoes of that clandestine entrance continue to reverberate, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. This return was not about nostalgia or reconciliation alone. It carried the unmistakable weight of strategy, urgency, and consequence. But this wasn't just a return, it was a calculated move. And what forced Harry back into the very place he once fled may be far more explosive than anyone imagined. Hours before his secret return, a message encrypted, urgent, and deeply personal reportedly reached Harry across the Atlantic. What it contained remains hidden, but insiders say it triggered immediate action. Flights were rearranged, security was activated, and within hours, Harry was on his way back to Windsor. But who sent it, and what truth was too dangerous to ignore? Those closest to the inner workings of the monarchy describe the communication as unlike anything seen in recent years: coded language, restricted channels, and a level of urgency reserved only for matters of profound consequence. This was not a routine family update or a ceremonial request. It was a summons that cut through distance, pride, and years of carefully maintained separation. Sources suggest that senior royal insiders were involved, individuals whose influence operates quietly but decisively behind palace walls. Their alleged role in crafting and delivering the message hints at a coordinated effort, one that bypassed public protocols and moved with surgical precision. Harry's schedule, once set and stable, shifted abruptly. Meetings were cancelled, commitments postponed. The sudden pivot spoke volumes, revealing a man torn between the life he had built and the legacy he could never fully escape. Beneath the surface of swift logistical changes lay a deeper emotional conflict: duty clashing with independence, loyalty colliding with past pain. For Harry, the decision to return was not simply about obligation. It was a confrontation with unresolved tensions and the enduring pull of family ties that refused to loosen no matter the distance. Whispers from within royal circles point to a brewing crisis, one that had been carefully contained until now. The urgency of the message suggests that something significant, perhaps destabilizing, had surfaced behind the palace's guarded facade. Some insiders speculate about a long-buried secret, a truth shielded for years by tradition and discretion, now threatening to emerge with consequences too serious to ignore. The gravity of the situation reportedly left little room for hesitation. Every moment counted, and every delay risked allowing the situation to spiral beyond control. As Harry prepared for departure, the weight of his choice grew heavier, marked by the realization that stepping back into the royal sphere meant reopening wounds and facing questions that had long lingered in silence. The atmosphere surrounding his departure was charged with tension, not only because of what was known, but because of what remained hidden. The monarchy, built on continuity and composure, now faced the unsettling possibility of internal upheaval. And at the center of it all was a prince caught between two worlds, drawn back by a message that carried the unmistakable echo of urgency and consequence. Each passing hour tightened the grip of anticipation, as those aware of the unfolding situation braced for the ripple effects that were sure to follow. The encrypted message had done more than summon Harry. It had set in motion a chain of events that threatened to expose vulnerabilities long kept in the shadows. As Harry raced toward Windsor, thousands of miles away, someone else was just discovering what he had done, and her reaction would ignite a storm no one could contain. When Meghan Markle learned of Harry's sudden departure, insiders say the reaction was immediate and volcanic. No warning, no discussion, no explanation, just a silent exit that shattered the fragile balance they had built. And now, behind closed doors, emotions are boiling over in ways that could redefine everything we thought we knew about their relationship. The revelation struck not as a simple scheduling change, but as a profound rupture in trust. For Meghan, the suddenness of Harry's departure felt like a return to the very patterns they had fought so hard to escape, decisions shaped by royal urgency rather than shared understanding. Sources close to the couple describe a moment of disbelief that quickly turned into deep emotional unrest as unanswered questions piled up faster than reassurances could be offered. Communication between them, once described as their greatest strength, reportedly faltered under the weight of secrecy and haste. At the heart of the turmoil lay a powerful emotional conflict: trust strained by silence, loyalty tested by distance, and independence challenged by the gravitational pull of royal duty. Meghan had stood beside Harry as he stepped away from the monarchy, helping him forge a new identity beyond palace walls. Now, his abrupt return, cloaked in mystery, threatened to unravel that hard-won sense of autonomy. Insiders suggest that the tension was not merely about the physical act of leaving, but about what it symbolized. A potential shift in priorities, a silent acknowledgement that the monarchy's influence still held a powerful grip. Conversations between the couple, described by those familiar with the situation as intense and emotionally charged, reportedly revolved around a single, haunting question: was this a temporary response to a crisis, or the beginning of a deeper pull back into royal life? The emotional stakes escalated as Meghan grappled with the possibility that the very institution they had distanced themselves from was once again dictating the course of their lives. Her reaction, insiders claim, was fueled by a mixture of fear, frustration, and a fierce determination to protect the life they had built together. The contrast was stark. A couple who had once publicly declared their independence, now facing a private storm that threatened to redraw the boundaries of their partnership. Trust, once unshakable, now demanded reassurance. Loyalty, once clearly defined, now seemed entangled in competing allegiances. And independence, the cornerstone of their new chapter, suddenly felt fragile. Those close to the situation speak of heated conversations marked by raw honesty and emotional intensity. Meghan's sense of being blindsided was compounded by the realization that Harry had acted under pressures she could not see, guided by forces rooted in family, history, and obligation. Yet beneath the anger lay a deeper concern, an unspoken fear that this moment could mark a turning point, not just in their relationship, but in Harry's journey away from the royal fold. The question lingered heavily in the air. What if this return was not temporary? What if the pull of duty, legacy, and unresolved family ties proved stronger than the life they had so carefully constructed? As the emotional storm unfolded, the fragile equilibrium of their partnership faced one of its most significant tests. Meghan's response was not merely about being left behind, it was about confronting the possibility that the past was not finished with them. The silence that accompanied Harry's departure echoed loudly in their private world, amplifying every doubt and fear. Each unanswered question deepened the tension, and each passing moment without clarity intensified the emotional stakes. The situation was no longer just about a secret trip to Windsor. It had become a defining moment that could reshape trust, redefine loyalty, and challenge the very foundation of their shared future. And as emotions surged and uncertainties grew, one unsettling realization began to take hold. The true danger was not the distance between them, but the powerful forces waiting for Harry on the other side. But Meghan's anger wasn't just about being left behind. It was about what Harry might be walking back into. Behind the towering walls of Windsor, something had already been set in motion. Senior royals, advisors, and unseen power players were quietly gathering long before Harry arrived. This wasn't coincidence, it was coordination, and as Harry stepped into that circle once more, he may have unknowingly entered a carefully constructed trap designed to force decision he's been avoiding for years. Long before the blacked-out convoy passed through the gates, discreet preparations were underway. Invitations were not formally issued, yet key figures were present. Conversations had begun in hushed tones, guided by urgency and a shared understanding that the moment demanded absolute discretion. The atmosphere was not one of welcome, but of strategy, measured, deliberate, and unmistakably purposeful. At the heart of this silent orchestration were senior royal figures whose influence has shaped the monarchy's most pivotal moments. Their presence signaled that this was far more than a family meeting. It was a convergence of authority, legacy, and expectation. Advisors with decades of institutional knowledge were strategically positioned, not merely to observe, but to guide the direction of the discussions. Trusted confidants, individuals who operate behind the scenes, yet hold immense sway, were reportedly briefed in advance. Their role was not passive. They were there to reinforce a narrative, to present options framed as necessities, and to ensure that every path forward led Harry toward a defining choice. What unfolded within Windsor's historic walls bore the unmistakable markings of a summoning rather than a spontaneous visit. The timing, the secrecy, and the assembled voices all pointed to a carefully engineered encounter. Harry, once determined to distance himself from these very dynamics, now found himself surrounded by the structures he had challenged. The power dynamics he had publicly rejected, hierarchies rooted in tradition, influence wielded through quiet persuasion, and decisions shaped by collective royal interest, were once again closing in. Each conversation, each carefully chosen word, carried the weight of expectation. The message was subtle but unmistakable. The monarchy was presenting its case, and neutrality was not an option. As discussions reportedly unfolded, the pressure intensified. This was not about revisiting the past for closure. It was about shaping the future of the institution. Harry's return, cloaked in secrecy, had created an opportunity that senior figures appeared determined to seize. The stakes were immense, not only for Harry personally, but for the monarchy's stability and public perception. Every argument presented was layered with implication: duty, framed as legacy, reconciliation framed as responsibility, and return framed as inevitability. The environment was charged with a sense of urgency, as if time itself were a silent participant, pushing the conversation toward a decisive outcome. For Harry, the experience was likely a collision of emotion and strategy. Memories of past struggles, public scrutiny, and personal convictions stood in stark contrast to the persuasive force of royal unity and tradition. The very institution he had stepped away from was now confronting him with a carefully structured narrative that his role, his voice, and his presence were still essential. The tension lay not only in what was being asked, but in how it was being presented with calm authority, historical weight, and an unspoken understanding that refusal would carry consequences both personal and institutional. As the carefully arranged meetings progressed, the atmosphere within Windsor grew heavier with anticipation. Every exchange, every pause, and every measured response contributed to a mounting sense that a turning point was imminent. The monarchy, an institution built on continuity and control, appeared to be executing a strategic maneuver designed to secure its future by confronting one of its most unpredictable figures. And as Harry stood at the center of this intricate web of influence and expectation, the realization likely dawned that this was not merely a conversation, it was a pivotal moment, engineered to shape the course of his life and the legacy of the crown. And at the center of it all lies a truth that may explain everything, a truth hidden deep within the royal legacy itself. What if Harry's return isn't about reconciliation but revelation? Sources now suggest that a long-buried royal secret has resurfaced, one that could rewrite the narrative of the monarchy itself. A truth hidden for years, protected by silence, and feared by those who know it. And now, Harry may be the only one who can confront it, or expose it. Deep within the traditions and unspoken rules that govern royal life, whispers have begun to surface, fragments of a story deliberately concealed, preserved not by accident, but by intention. This alleged secret, rooted in decisions made decades ago, is said to touch the very foundation of the monarchy's public image and internal unity. It is not merely a personal matter, but a historical fault line, one that those in power have long feared could fracture the carefully maintained narrative of stability and honor. For generations, the monarchy has thrived on controlled transparency, revealing just enough to maintain public trust, while guarding the truths that could disrupt its carefully crafted legacy. According to insiders, this particular secret was buried under layers of protocol, sealed conversations, and strategic silence. The reason for its concealment was not simply to avoid scandal, but to protect the institution from a crisis that could challenge its moral authority and historical decisions. The tension surrounding this hidden truth has reportedly lingered for years, resurfacing in moments of internal conflict and quietly influencing choices made behind closed doors. Now, circumstances have aligned in a way that threatens to bring it into the light. Harry's unique position within the royal family places him at the center of this unfolding revelation. Neither fully inside nor entirely outside the institution, he occupies a rare and powerful vantage point. His distance from royal duties has granted him independence, yet his lineage ties him irrevocably to the monarchy's past and future. This dual identity, outsider and insider, makes him uniquely capable of confronting a truth that others may be unwilling or unable to face. Insiders suggest that his return was not just about family matters or strategic discussions, but about addressing this deeply buried issue head-on. The emotional weight of such a responsibility is immense. To confront the truth could mean challenging the very institution that shaped his life. To remain silent could mean carrying the burden of complicity. The potential exposure of this secret carries profound risks. For the monarchy, it threatens not only reputational damage, but a re-evaluation of decisions that have long been accepted without question. The public, once shielded from the complexities behind palace walls, could be forced to confront a narrative far more intricate and unsettling than the polished image presented for generations. For senior royals, the stakes are deeply personal, as well as institutional. Loyalties, legacies, and carefully preserved histories hang in the balance, creating an atmosphere of unease and urgency within Windsor's corridors. For Harry, the emotional toll is particularly intense. As the outsider insider, he bears the weight of knowledge that could alter perceptions of his family and redefine his own role within that legacy. The struggle is not merely about truth versus secrecy, but about identity, responsibility, and the cost of revelation. Each step closer to uncovering what lies beneath the surface deepens the tension, drawing him further into a web of history, loyalty, and consequence. The monarchy's silence grows heavier, and the pressure surrounding Harry intensifies with every passing moment as the layers of secrecy begin to shift and long-guarded truths edge toward exposure. The atmosphere becomes charged with anticipation and dread. The question is no longer whether the secret exists, but how far its impact will reach once fully revealed. And as Harry stands at the crossroads of duty and disclosure, the path ahead appears increasingly irreversible. But as Harry begins to uncover what lies beneath the surface, the question becomes unavoidable: can he walk away again? Or is it already too late? Caught between two worlds, Harry now faces a choice that could define his life forever. The freedom he fought for, or the family he can never fully escape. Every step inside Windsor pulls him deeper into a past filled with pain, expectation, and unresolved conflict. And with Meghan watching from afar, the stakes have never been higher. The corridors of Windsor do not merely echo with history, they resonate with memories that shaped Harry's identity, both as a prince and as a man determined to break free. His return is not just a physical presence within royal walls. It is an emotional reckoning. Each familiar voice, each unspoken glance, and every tradition revived in his presence intensifies the internal conflict that has defined his journey for years. At the heart of Harry's struggle lies a profound tension between duty and independence. The life he built beyond the monarch, Harry offered autonomy, purpose, and the chance to redefine himself on his own terms. Yet the pull of family complex, demanding and deeply rooted, remains impossible to ignore. Windsor symbolizes more than royal authority. It represents the expectations that once governed his every move and the emotional scars left by public scrutiny and private loss. Returning to this environment forces Harry to confront not only the institution he stepped away from, but also the personal history intertwined with it. The emotional toll is undeniable, as past wounds resurface alongside the weight of present responsibility. Meghan's presence, though distant, is a powerful influence shaping Harry's perspective. She represents the life he chose, the independence he fought to protect, and the future they envisioned together. Yet, as Harry navigates the pressures within Windsor, the contrast between his personal commitments and royal expectations becomes increasingly stark. Insiders suggest that this tension is not simply about choosing between two paths, but about reconciling two identities that seem fundamentally at odds. Meghan's unwavering support and the life they share stand as a reminder of what is at stake, while the royal family's expectations underscore the enduring obligations tied to his birthright. Public perception adds another layer of complexity to Harry's dilemma. The world watches closely, interpreting every movement and silence as a signal of his intentions. Supporters see a man striving to honor both his personal truth and his family ties, while critics question whether his return signals a retreat from the independence he once fiercely defended. The scrutiny amplifies the pressure, turning a deeply personal decision into a global narrative filled with speculation and judgment. Harry is not just navigating family dynamics, he is contending with the relentless gaze of a public, eager for clarity and resolution. The cost of his choice looms large. Embracing royal duty could mean sacrificing the autonomy and peace he fought so hard to achieve. Turning away once more could deepen familial rifts and reinforce perceptions of division within the monarchy. Every option carries emotional consequences, not only for Harry, but for those closest to him. The weight of legacy presses heavily against the desire for personal freedom, creating a moral and emotional crossroads with no easy resolution. Each conversation within Windsor, each moment of reflection, draws him closer to a decision that will shape not only his future, but also the evolving narrative of the royal family. As Harry continues to wrestle with this profound internal conflict, the tension within Windsor remains palpable, charged with anticipation and uncertainty. The silence surrounding his intentions speaks louder than any public statement, fueling speculation and intensifying the emotional stakes. And as this deeply personal struggle unfolds behind closed doors, the ripple effects are beginning to extend far beyond the castle's ancient walls. But while Harry wrestles with his decision outside those castle walls, the world is starting to notice. It started as whispers. Then came the leaks, and now the world is watching as speculation spirals out of control. Social media erupts, headlines clash, and every new detail adds fuel to a fire that's quickly becoming impossible to contain. The question is no longer if something is happening, but how big it really is. Within hours of Harry's secret return becoming public knowledge, the media landscape transformed into a battlefield of narratives. Anonymous sources surfaced with conflicting accounts, each claiming insider knowledge of what was unfolding behind Windsor's guarded walls. Some reports suggested urgent family negotiations, while others hinted at deeper institutional tensions threatening to erupt into full view. The uncertainty only intensified public curiosity, turning speculation into a relentless storm of theories and assumptions. News outlets raced to break the next revelation, often contradicting one another in the process. One headline framed Harry's return as a gesture of reconciliation. Another painted it as evidence of a looming royal crisis. The absence of clear communication from the palace created a vacuum quickly filled by pundits, commentators, and self-proclaimed insiders. Every fragment of information, no matter how unverified, was amplified across digital platforms, transforming rumor into perceived reality within moments. The pace was dizzying, the tone increasingly urgent, as the story evolved faster than facts could be confirmed. Public reaction became deeply divided. Supporters of Harry viewed his return as a courageous step toward confronting unresolved family matters and addressing hidden truths. Critics, however, questioned his motives, suggesting that the secrecy surrounding his arrival pointed to deeper instability within the royal framework. Social media platforms became arenas of intense debate, where loyalty, skepticism, empathy, and frustration collided in real time. Each new development triggered waves of emotional responses, reflecting a global audience invested not only in the outcome, but in the unfolding drama itself. Amid this escalating frenzy, a silent yet powerful element intensified the speculation. Meghan's absence from public discourse. Her decision to remain quiet, offering no statements or clarifications, added a layer of intrigue that fueled countless interpretations. Was her silence a sign of support, concern, or strategic restraint? The lack of answers only deepened the mystery, turning her quiet presence into one of the most talked about aspects of the unfolding situation. Observers dissected every subtle clue, searching for meaning in what was not being said. Behind the scenes, a narrative battle began to take shape between the palace and the press. Royal aides reportedly worked to contain the spread of misinformation, emphasizing stability and continuity, while segments of the media pushed forward with stories suggesting internal conflict and hidden agendas. This clash of narratives created an atmosphere charged with tension, where truth and speculation became increasingly difficult to separate. The monarchy's carefully managed image faced a new kind of challenge, one driven by the speed and reach of modern media. As the frenzy intensified, a growing sense of anticipation gripped the public. The steady stream of leaks and counterclaims suggested that something significant was building beneath the surface. Each new report hinted at revelations yet to come, creating a collective feeling that the story was far from over. The world watched, refreshed feeds, and awaited the next development with breathless attention, convinced that a defining moment was imminent. And just when it seems like the situation couldn't escalate further, everything changes again. Inside Windsor, a decision is being made, one that could ripple far beyond palace walls. Harry stands at the center of it all, facing pressure from every direction. What he chooses next won't just affect his future, it could reshape the monarchy itself. And as the clock ticks, the world waits for a move that may already be set in motion. Within the historic stronghold of tradition and authority, conversations have reached a critical point. The atmosphere is heavy with anticipation, every word measured, every pause loaded with consequence. This is no longer about private family tensions or strategic discussions. It is a defining crossroads where personal conviction collides with institutional survival. At the heart of this moment lies a set of possible outcomes, each carrying profound implications. Reconciliation remains one path, offering the promise of healing fractured relationships and restoring a sense of unity within the royal family. Yet even this hopeful scenario is layered with complexity, requiring compromises that could challenge Harry's hard-won independence. Another possibility looms darker and more disruptive: exposure. Should hidden truths come to light, the monarchy could face an unprecedented reckoning, forcing a re-evaluation of its legacy and the narratives it has long upheld. Then there is the starkest option of all: separation. A decisive break, not only emotional but symbolic, that could permanently redefine Harry's place in royal history and deepen the divide between personal freedom and royal duty. For Harry, the emotional stakes have never been higher. The weight of expectation presses heavily upon him, intensified by the knowledge that his decision will echo far beyond Windsor's walls. Meghan's presence, though distant, remains a powerful force in his thoughts, a reminder of the life they built together, grounded in autonomy and shared purpose. The contrast between that life and the demands of royal tradition creates a profound internal struggle. Every choice carries the potential for both resolution and regret, for healing and heartbreak. The emotional cost is immeasurable as Harry grapples with the reality that no path forward is free from sacrifice. The implications for the monarchy are equally significant. The institution, built on continuity and carefully maintained public trust, now faces a moment that could alter its structure and legacy. A reconciliation might strengthen its image of unity and resilience, while exposure of long-guarded secrets could challenge its credibility and historical narrative. A definitive separation, on the other hand, could signal a new era, one in which the monarchy must adapt to changing expectations and the evolving identities of its members. The fear of irreversible consequences looms over every discussion, underscoring the gravity of the decisions being weighed behind closed doors. As the deliberations continue, a profound silence settles over Windsor. It is the kind of silence that precedes transformation, charged with tension and possibility. No official statements have been issued, no clear signals offered to the outside world, yet within this quiet, the magnitude of the moment is unmistakable. Every passing minute deepens the sense that history is being shaped in real time, guided by choices that will define not only Harry's future, but the trajectory of the monarchy itself. The world waits in collective anticipation, aware that the outcome of this pivotal moment will resonate far beyond royal circles. Supporters, critics and observers alike understand that whatever decision emerges will carry lasting consequences, influencing public perception, familial bonds, and the enduring legacy of the crown. The silence is not empty, it is charged with the weight of expectation, the tension of unresolved conflict, and the promise of a turning point that cannot be undone. But even as a decision looms, one final question remains unanswered, and it may be the most dangerous one of all. As night falls over Windsor, nothing is certain, and everything is at risk. Harry's return has triggered a chain reaction that no one can fully control. Meghan waits, the palace watches, and the world holds its breath. Because whatever happens next won't just close this chapter, it will begin something far more unpredictable. Inside the ancient institution that has weathered centuries of triumph and turmoil, a quiet tension now lingers like an unspoken warning. No announcements have been made, no resolutions revealed, yet the silence itself speaks volumes, suggesting that the outcome remains delicately balanced on the edge of irreversible change. Every moment that passes deepens the uncertainty surrounding Harry's next move, as those within royal circles brace for a decision that could redefine personal loyalties and institutional priorities alike. Beyond Windsor's guarded walls, Meghan's looming response adds another layer of emotional gravity to an already fragile situation. Her silence, once a strategic shield, now feels charged with anticipation. Those close to the couple suggest that her reaction will not merely be personal, it will carry symbolic weight, reflecting the broader struggle between independence and tradition. The emotional bond they share stands as both a source of strength and a point of tension, especially as the implications of Harry's choices ripple outward. The world watches closely, aware that her next words or continued silence could shift public perception and intensify the unfolding narrative. Within the monarchy, the atmosphere remains precarious. The institution, long defined by stability and carefully curated public confidence, now finds itself navigating a moment of profound vulnerability. Hidden truths, once buried beneath layers of protocol and discretion, threaten to surface with consequences that extend far beyond personal relationships. The potential fallout is not limited to reputational damage. It challenges the very foundations of trust and continuity upon which the monarchy relies. Senior figures, advisors, and confidants remain locked in quiet deliberation, aware that every decision made in these critical hours will shape the legacy they leave behind. For Harry, the emotional aftermath continues to unfold with relentless intensity. The weight of his journey marked by courage, conflict, and a relentless pursuit of authenticity now converges in a moment defined by uncertainty. Each reflection, each conversation, and each silent pause carries the echo of past struggles and future consequences. The cost of his choices is measured not only in public reaction, but in deeply personal terms, touching the bonds of family, the promise of partnership, and the enduring search for identity beyond royal expectation. The tension is palpable, not because of what has been decided, but because of what remains unresolved. As the night deepens, a haunting realization takes hold. This is not an ending, but the beginning of a new and unpredictable chapter. The monarchy stands at a crossroads, its future intertwined with the decisions of a prince who has both challenged and defined its modern evolution. The world, captivated by the unfolding drama, senses that the story is far from complete. Every unanswered question fuels the anticipation. Every moment of silence amplifies the suspense. The fragile equilibrium between tradition and transformation hangs in the balance, waiting for the next decisive move. And as the echoes of this moment reverberate through Windsor and beyond, one truth becomes unmistakably clear: this chapter may close, but the deeper narrative is only just beginning. Because in the world of royalty, the biggest secrets are never truly buried, and this story is far from over. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in next one.